Yo, this is it. I'm Mr. Fate, and you're listening to Attack of the Beats on IllMuzik.com. 5 beats, 5 reviews, that's what I do. And this is episode number 202. And you know what? Let's jump into it right away. First up, we got Dead Bass Records with Gonna Type Beat. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Dead Bass Records with Gonna Type Beat. I really like this guitar. It really stands out. You know, first of all, it's very clean sounding, so I don't know where the guitar came from. Probably VST, or maybe you play it yourself. I'm not sure, but it does sound really good though. I like it, nice and clean. And what I liked is the fact that about halfway through, you ended up changing up the pattern. You know, so that was really cool because I thought it was just going to be the same thing all the way through. So you changed it up. It was a nice change up. So good job on that. But I wish there was a part like maybe 3/4 of the way in or something like that where you just took out the guitar completely and just had, you know, the bass with the drums and stuff, just as a little change up. Maybe at that point, I mean, it could be a little dry at that point. Maybe you just have like a little vocal snippet at that point to come in, or maybe just some like talking from a movie or something like that, you know, just to fill that gap or whatever. But yeah, the guitar is really nice. Now the kick, I know you like to roll your kicks a lot and stuff. You like to do like that Kickstarter thing, and that's good. But like I was saying in the previous episode, just scale it back just a bit because, you know, you're using it a little too much. I would say every few bars and all that, and that'll make a big difference. And then the bass, I would say just bring it down slightly because this type of beat where it's good that bass is heavy, but I think it's just a little bit loud in the mix, so I would just tone that down just slightly. But other than that, it's a nice beat. I like it, and yeah. All right, so next up we've got Farah Laversa with Under. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Farrah Laversa with Under. This is a nice atmospheric beat. I really like this. To me, it really stands out because you got that loud reverb on the snare. That's really, really good because, like I've said so many times, when you have a beat like this where it has like this nice atmosphere, it's like you want to fill out, like a painting, you want to fill out the canvas, and you want to do something like that snare, add a big reverb. You got all this space, why not use it? You know what I mean? Like if you had all kinds of other instruments in this, then I would say no, that's the opposite effect, right? So in this case, good job with the reverb. That was really good. Nice subtle drum track, and I like the synth because it just really sets the mood. And it's nice that you have a little bit of a change up with those subtle keys coming in here and there. So that's good. I just think that it could maybe use something else, like just to kind of add something to the beat. So I'm thinking like if you had those keys or like some other keys, maybe just a straight up piano, just like a, one chord hit here and there, you know what I mean? Just to kind of like bring it around, let's say like on the first bar, like of the loop, let's say, so but I mean, you might not even need that if you're using this with a rapper. Let's say you got somebody with their vocals on top, you might not even need that. But I would say still just try that maybe, just to add a little more oomph, you know what I mean? It's like just something to it, because right now it's just the same atmospheric tone all the way through, which is good. Like I said, it sounds really, really good. I just think just to give it a little more emphasis, like to come around on that first bar, maybe add something like that. All right, so next up we've got Mal Havoc with Ring These Bells. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Mal Havoc with Ring These Bells. Now this one, it's, like the previous episode, I mentioned to someone else about, swapping out the sounds, like this is another classic example. Like, you got all the right parts and everything. It's just that, the sounds need to just sound better, mainly the piano and, well, the strings of course too, but mainly that piano. It's just like, I think that I remember years ago doing that. I had, whatever program I was using the built-in sounds that came with it. And the piano is what really stands out. Like, it just sounds cheesy. You know what I mean? When you use those stock sounds. Like, if you had, like, I don't know if people remember, like, General Meaty, you had that list of General Meaty sounds and stuff. You had, like a honky tonk piano or something like that, something stupid, but when you had stuff like that, it's like, that's like, nobody should really be using that stuff today, you know what I mean? So in your case, I mean, I don't know what program you're using, but like I was saying in the previous episode, you could do some filtering, some effects to add to that, or maybe even just add some like subtle sample on top of that piano and strings just to kind of mask it, you know. So to me, that's what I would do if I was using sounds like this. I would just try to, try to filter it out, you know what I mean? So try something like that, because like I said, the beat is good, everything's in place, it's just the sound. And I think a lot of people have that problem, depending on the programs they're using, is that they just have sounds that are not really that authentic, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Anyway, try that. Okay, so next up we've got Press Bible Thump with Here Come the Bible Thumper. All right, let's check it out. All right. Okay, so that was Press Bible Thump with Here Come the Bible Thumper. Now this one, the vocal chant, like I think I've heard that on other beats you had or whatever, and that's good. I mean, that's your style and everything, but I would only use that on a hook, you know what I mean? Because once you use it all the way through, it gets very, very repetitive, you know? So I definitely wouldn't use that all the way throughout the beat and everything. And so I would just use that in the hook, and then once you brought in, the drums and then the bass, I was like, okay, I see where he's going with this and all that. Although when you brought in that heavy kick, I wouldn't do that. I mean, that was just like, it just maxed it down to the red. I could see that right away. I could hear it right away, actually. So definitely, get rid of that part when you bring in that heavy kick. You don't really need to. So, but one thing is, when you have that synth come in, I was listening to it and I'm thinking, it sounds like I understand what you're doing with it. I see where you're going with it. I think you just need some good chords to go with this, So there's a few plugins out there. I remember there's one, I think it's called Scalar, and I think that's the one. Anyway, and if you get your hands on something like that, because you do that, and it just makes a world of difference. It just opens you up to so many possibilities. It just does the chords for you, and then you can just adjust as needed and all that. So try something like that, because once you do that, I think it just opens up everything right there. Like you're going down like a whole rabbit hole of a whole different type of music type of thing. You know what I mean? So try that, because it sounds like you're trying to do something with that pattern, but it's not really there. You know what I mean? So try one of those plugins. There's a few out there for. I think it is Scalar. Anyway, I'll have to look that up again. But yeah, try that. And like I said, that kick, that heavy kick there, I would totally get rid of that part. But yeah, try the chord plugin and see where it gets you. All right, so next up we've got the last beat. It's Wally Dank. Is that how you pronounce it? Wally Dank with Afro Drill. Let's check it out. right. Okay, so that was Wally Dank with Afro Drill. For this one, I mean, it sounds to me like you're trying to experiment with these sounds to try to get like this Afro Drill style. If I don't know, does that actually exist right now? There's so many styles out there, man. I lose track. I don't know. I really do think people just make this stuff up every day. But anyway, I heard something like this a while back where it was that kind of style where there's all these experiments going on inside the beat or whatever. It just sounded like. And as I mentioned to somebody in the previous episode, it's like I want to hear a clear pattern all the way through, something I can really, digest, if you will, I guess, and in this case, I mean, for example, let's say using, you have bongos going on repeatedly on the right. It sound like bongos. I mean, bongos are something that should just accentuate drums, as far as I'm concerned, right? It's just there to accentuate it, not to carry all the way through. Like, for example, the vocals on the far left that you have, to me, something like that should be, most likely the vocals like that should be accentuating like a high-pitched instrument, like strings, for example. So that should be used like that sparingly, not all the way through, And if you are going to use it all the way through, to me, I think you should definitely have something that, like I said, that is, a clear pattern, because you don't have like a traditional drum track going. So again, like that could be the style you're going for. You don't want to have that or whatever. I understand that, but still, it'd be nice to hear some nice drums going, right down the middle, and then put this stuff on top, So, like I said so many times to people, it's like when you're talking about making any kind of rap beats, I mean, you want to have the drums, the drums have to hit, they don't have to always be like hard smacking drums. It's just that they just have to be there, prominent, where they carry the track. That's what it's based on. That's what hip hop is based on. So anyway, I would say do something like that if you want to change it up. Like have the drums with this stuff on top, and then you can adjust as needed. But again, like I said, the key is to accentuate. Like the vocals, the bongos, and all that stuff. Try that, and I think you probably have something there if you did that. Like if you're going for this Afro Drill thing. I gotta look that up. I don't know if that's an actual thing, but anyway, maybe I just learned something new today. All right, so that's it from me. I'm Mr. Fade. This is Attacking the Beats. Keep sending your beats in. I'll keep reviewing them. And my favorite beat is the winner is, drum roll please, Dead Bass Records with Gunna Type Beat. Let's check it out.